Welcome to Grow Your Garden with Sal, your go-to show for growing fresh veggies and thriving greenery. Visit the store at 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia, where expert advice meets everything you need to grow. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Grow Your Garden with Sal, for even more tips and tutorials. Let's dig in and get your garden growing. Here's Sal.
Hey everybody, welcome in on this fabulous Saturday. I am so excited to help y'all get y'all's garden started. We got some fun events today, and joining us in the studio as always, Joshua.
And we have a little bit of special thing to talk about this week.
Oh gosh.
Well, you know, just as well as Megan knows and just as well as I know, you guys came to my house and
yeah.
Garden.
Okay, good news. I was like, wait a minute. What'd I do?
So Megan's also here in the studio for the second week in a row. Hi. So welcome back. And yeah, it should be a great Saturday morning here on The Point is for sure. 100.7 FM, 1470 AM, online at Make the Point Radio. And this is Grow Your Garden with Sal.
It is. So y'all, let's get growing. And it's y'all's show, so call in at 803-799-8255. I'm always looking up there so I don't get a dyslexic moment and like y'all be calling somebody else. But yeah, call into our show. Like I said, we have a lot of fun events today. Megan's going to be at the store helping. So we have tomatoes planting 101.
Ooh.
So you get to learn how to plant tomatoes, how to take care of tomatoes. So it's going to be a fun class for about an hour. It's $10, and you get some Amelia tomatoes to take home with you. So if you hadn't signed up and you want to, you can either sign up online now or come into the store. You know, we can definitely check you out there too. So
what time is that class? Just answer it before
I
you even ask the question.
It's like we've got, what do you call that?
Telepathy.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think I'm thinking of the right word. But yeah, so great stuff at the store this morning and this afternoon. It's the perfect time of the year for planting tomatoes for gardening.
Yep. And we got pick up your limelight hydrangeas for Mother's Day tomorrow, and we got some hanging baskets.
Yes,
so,
the hanging baskets are so pretty.
They're really, really pretty. And we don't have that many because I was scared to get too many with the storm, but I think we have, what do you think, about 10?
Ooh, yeah, probably.
Because we had people clean us out yesterday too. But they're very, very pretty. So if you want a really unique gift, either the limelights, they're only $18.50, and anywhere else you're going to be paying $35. So, and they come from a local South Carolina certified nursery, and then also the hanging baskets are South Carolina local too.
So if you're not familiar with the show, if this is your first time tuning in, Sal is a 8th generation farmer in Columbia. And if you don't believe it, check her backyard.
Yeah, we got grandmom back there. Yeah, growing some tomato plants on top of her. No, several grandmoms.
So Sal's farm is not downtown Columbia, right outside of Columbia, 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia.
Yes.
And you've been farming for a while. You've gained a lot of knowledge, and you've put it to use in your own store. And now in a radio show, obviously we're almost, what would you say, about 9 months into our show so far?
Mm-hmm. So, and it's been a learning experience because I love to teach people how to grow, but this has been, thank you for helping me learn how to do this.
It's a teamwork makes the dream work, but everybody really does appreciate all your knowledge and want to get into a lot of it here into the show. But I'm just a little guy that is helping out Sal, but I'm also learning how to garden myself.
Yeah, because we did, like you said, we did the garden beds. Megan came and helped out too. So how's it doing?
Well, everything's doing good, except I did bruise up the plants a little bit by spraying them with the pressure washer.
Yes.
You're just making them stronger.
Yeah, you're not supposed to make them shiny by pressure washing them.
So I knocked over the one on Sunday when we planted them. I knocked over the one, and it by Monday afternoon it was already pointing straight back
coming back up. Yeah.
So that's good. I noticed there is some brown spots on the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just from being bruised.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you can injure your plants. Water is like the number one thing that people get wrong. One thing is if you don't let that water hose run for a little bit. Now your hose is kind of in the shade
Yeah.
But like ours in the greenhouse, it sits there, and even though there's not water in that hose, when you turn on the water, the water's coming through, and it's almost boiling coming out there. So, and even if it starts off cold, it'll turn hot again. So definitely put your hand in front of it, let it run. I tell all my people, let it run. We've had several plants damaged for people coming down there watering, just turning it on, and essentially boiling them.
Let it run. Let it run.
And always water at the base. And if you have a sprinkler system, you need to do it early morning or late afternoon because it will get sun scald. And one of my customers this week was like, well, when it rains, it's raining, maybe midday, but you got the cloud cover. Nature knows what it's doing. So you got the cloud cover when it rains, so that's a little different.
Speaking about the sprinklers, I was thinking we have around our house, built into our sprinkler system, and like all of our flower, like around our house where we have our flowers and our bushes and stuff, we have lines ran that hook up to our sprinkler system that automatically doing that. I was thinking about trying to figure out a way to incorporate that into some raised garden beds. Now, Sal, if you remember this, my dad was talking about it actually with you. He his grandfather had a huge garden in his backyard, and my dad, once we get a fence, we're getting a fence at our house in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And we were thinking about expanding our garden for the fall time. So we were thinking about expanding those sprinklers and having
in the back,
and having it on automatic timer. And just because they just missed, and so I think it'd be perfect.
That would be great. And then in the fall, because y'all got a lot of trees around, but some of those trees are going to lose the leaves. Yeah. And so you'll have a little bit more sunlight in the fall too. So that's a big challenge with y'all, the sunlight. So we're trying to pick the best area. Yeah,
I think it actually stays pretty bright most of the day.
That's good.
But yeah, I think sunlight is for backyard gardening. That's one of the biggest hurdles. I would definitely. For sure, but so we got what all did we plant in my backyard? Because I don't even really.
So we did the Amelia tomatoes, which is a heavy hitter. You do not cut the suckers off those tomatoes. You don't prune them. We did some. You picked out some jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, and of course the sweet snacking peppers. You got to have those.
Those just bring a smile to my face.
Oh man, it's like candy. I don't even like peppers for the most part, but those are amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, have you ever had the sweet snacking peppers, Megan?
I haven't, actually.
Well, they are really, really good. And
it's like candy.
Yeah, well, I don't know candy. I mean, a Reese cup is definitely better than a sweet snacking pepper. But it's pretty amazing that something can taste so different. When you think about like a pepper, a bell pepper that you get from the store, and it just tastes so different and so much more.
Almost no taste. Yeah.
Fresher.
So and the mini cucumbers are probably one of my favorites.
I have had those.
I just pick them off and hand them to customers, and then you have to buy the plant because it's so amazing. The problem with them, though, is that if you want to do canning or something, they don't, when you put them on the counter, they go bad like really quick. So it's really something you pick and eat. Sort of so.
Well, I have a couple questions when we come back for Josh's Thing of the Week. We haven't really done it in a couple weeks, but I have a couple questions that I want to ask about summertime gardening. So we'll answer those. You can call in 803-799-8255 on the Groucho's Deli phone line. And so we'll come back here in just a moment with your calls and your questions on our YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah. So give us a call.
For over 17 years, the Original Landscape Supply in Chapin has provided gardeners with top-quality organic soil, mulch, and sand. Whether you're planting flowers, vegetables, or shrubs, we have what you need to grow strong, beautiful plants. Visit theoriginallandscapesupply.com to give your garden the best.
If you step onto H&J Cattle's farm, you'll find third-generation farmers upholding the legacy. They embrace sustainability and take immense pride in their craft, raising cattle purely on nature's offerings, without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. The result? Unmatched quality beef that's not just good, it's the best in South Carolina. Experience the distinct flavor of our finest registered Hereford and Wagyu beef. Visit us online at handjcattle.com or on Instagram and Facebook at H&J Cattle.
Hi, I'm Dondi Mercer-Plank. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting, let me introduce you to Grow Your Garden with Sal, your go-to spot for everything you need this season. As a South Carolina certified farm, they offer locally grown vegetable seedlings, plants, and seeds to help your garden thrive. And don't worry if you don't have a green thumb, Sal and her team will teach you how to grow with confidence. Shop online at growyourgardenwithsal.com or stop by 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia.
When it needs to come down, call the pros who get it done right. From porches to pools, houses to sidewalks. If you want it gone, it's gone. Fast, professional, committed to top quality service. We handle residential, commercial, even emergency jobs. Demolition Services LLC, locally owned and ready to work. Call 803-553-8453 and let's clear the way today.
Well, not the bumper I was hoping for because the computer that we used just froze it just froze up and it just stopped working. It's great because we're getting a new computer hopefully tonight. Our engineer's coming. So anyways, that's obviously beyond the point. So many great things happening this week and in the coming up weeks this summer. As we just talked about, it's the best time of the year to garden. And one of our favorite parts of the year, Sal's favorite parts of the year, is the Ag and Art Tour.
Yeah.
And so if you're not familiar with the Ag and Art Tour, Sal, let us know what that is.
Yeah, so that Ag and Art Tour is a statewide tour, and it goes from county to county to county. And you get to visit your local farms. We've got a lot of farms signed up for Richland County. It's June. Richland County is June 7th and 8th. So, yeah.
There's a lot. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but there's a lot all around Columbia. There's one out in Chapin, some going out towards Gaston, Sumter area. So, anyways.
And we're going to try to have 2 different people a week coming up until the tour, so we can catch up, so y'all can meet your farmers and stuff.
Well, not to take away from the guests that we have coming on in just a second, but what I will say, on June 7th and the 8th, it'll be making a stop at Sal's farm.
Yes,
Grow Your Garden with Sal. And what are you going to have? I mean, I know a lot of locations bring in different vendors as far as artists and stuff. So are you going to have anything other than your normal gardening things? Or?
Yeah, so we should have some music. We'll have the best bowl peanuts you've ever had in your life.
I loved bowl peanuts.
They are so good. Even if you're a Yankee and you don't like bowl peanuts, you'll like these peanuts. And then we also have the mules, the guinea pigs. You can feed the guinea pigs. You can come up, pet the mules, pet the goats. We'll have the dove releases about every hour. Plants, garden tour. So a bunch going on.
Great. So you can go online. It's agandarttour.com, specifically /Richland. So agandarttour.com/Richland, and that'll take you to all the different tour sites, and it tells you a good description, the hours, beautiful
It's
stuff.
a lot of fun. Come out and meet your farmer. Find out where you can get fresh food from, because it makes all the difference in the world.
Yes. All right. So we have a guest. Like we said, we're gonna try to have 2 guests from a location a week. So introduce us to who we have on the phone right now.
Yeah. So this is a very great friend of mine. This is Amanda Jones with Doko Farms. One farm. And So hey, Amanda.
Hi, Sal. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for calling in. Can you tell us about your farm and what you're going to have going on June 7th and 8th?
Absolutely. So I wasn't sure if I was calling in today on behalf of Ag and Art Tour Richland County, the Richland County Ag and Art Tour, or behalf of Doko Farm. So I was ready for both.
Both.
So Doko Farm, we're kind of, our big thing that we do for Ag and Art Tour, and only for Ag and Art Tour, is our locally famous chicken races.
Ooh.
So we will be putting the racing jerseys on 3 times over the Ag and Art Tour weekend, twice on Saturday, once on Sunday, and you can cheer on your favorite hen at the chicken race. It's always a lot of fun.
It's kind of like the pig races, only more fun.
More chaotic.
Is there any gambling involved?
Ooh.
You know, I
no
am
comment?
not.
Legally.
Yeah, no comment.
What you do at the chicken race stays at the chicken race.
Perfect.
I love it.
I don't officiate betting, but I can't say that it's never happened either. So right after the chicken race, we have a farmer-led tour. Joe does an excellent tour of our farm, takes you around, introduces you to all our heritage breed livestock. We have some unique livestock that we raise on the farm. And then, you end up, he hand delivers you to our historic barnyard where you can meet all the artisans, and our farms. The Doko farm will be set up. We also have a couple of visiting farms that weekend. And what else do we have going on? There's a yoga class this year at Doko farm.
Ooh.
And all of, yeah, I'm really excited. I've wanted to do yoga on the farm for a while. I'll definitely be in the class.
Is it going to be turkey yoga? Will there be a turkey in there?
No, we're not doing goat yoga or turkey yoga. You can get the full benefit of the yoga class without livestock crawling on you.
Oh, but you can see them while you're doing the yoga and betting on the chicken races.
Perfect.
The sights and sounds of the farm and fully just soak it all in. I'm really looking forward to the yoga class because after gardening, you do so much gardening in the spring, and after all of that, I am a little bit achy, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Oh, I understand that because we've been working really hard. I know you've been working really hard, and all these farms getting ready for the Art and Ag Tour or Ag and Art Tour, and I don't think people understand how much goes into it. So it's a lot.
Manual labor, for sure.
Yeah. That's why I do recommend at our farm or any of the other tour sites. There's 17 tour sites on the Ag and Art Tour, Richland County's Ag and Art Tour this year. If there's a guided tour, I really suggest you take it because then you do get more insight as what's going on instead of just walking by and saying, oh, there's some chickens and moving along.
Well, I'm not sure if you know this, but we will be having an Ag and Art Tour special show on June 7th. On that Saturday morning, we're going to do a special show. Everything's going to be about ag and art.
Yes.
So we're going to feature local, all the different places. We're going to talk about all of them, see what we have. Sal's going to be at her store, so she's not going to be in here. It's going to be Josh, Megan, and another
Swan.
I always forget her name, but yeah. So we'll have an Ag and Art Tour special here on Grow Your Garden with Sal.
Amazing.
Great stuff. Well, we thank you so much for joining in, and we look forward to speaking with you hopefully next week or week after that.
Absolutely. Before I go, I just wanted to say if anyone's looking for a way to get more involved with Ag and Art Tour, we are still accepting volunteers for tour sites. We have a few tour sites that are still looking for volunteer help on that day, and you can find the link for that at agandarttour.com/Richland.
Yeah, please sign up. Yeah.
And now that you say that, I actually thought of another question. So, does it cost any money for somebody to visit the tour locations, the tour sites?
No, this is my favorite part about Ag and Art Tour is it's free to be a tour site, so the tour sites don't pay anything to join the tour. They put in a lot of sweat equity for sure, but free sites. The artisans that you'll see in Richland County are able to set up without a fee, which is amazing I know there's a lot of, at my farm, one of my kids sets up a booth, and that happens at a few farms, and it's a great way for up-and-coming artists to get a foot in the door without having to pay huge art festival fees. It's free for all of our guests. So you can visit, it's a self-guided tour. There's an interactive map on the website. Richland County also has provided you with some suggested tour routes to help you make the most out of your tour day. And you can just go along and visit the farms that the tour sites that you are most interested in and make a day or 2 days, because we're open both Saturday and 2 days of it. Check out 2 different parts of the county. And it is admissions free for all the tour sites. There might be some activities on some of the tour sites where you do have to pay a fee. On our tour site at Doko Farm, the yoga class is a pay what you can.
No, that's nice.
Fee, yeah. So
Because it costs money to do this, and we are doing, like she said, you can come for free. We give like a free sample of peanuts, and then we hope you buy some after that. So, and most of the places take credit cards and cash. So yeah, and we take SNAP benefits also for plants, seeds, and produce.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and before you go, somebody said, "Can you please repeat the locations for the tour and how to and how to find them?"
In locations?
No,
no, not you.
I'm
don't
not
have
going to make you do all that. We're going to let you go, and I'll answer the question for him. But we thank you for your time. Okay.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you on Ag and Art Tour.
Thank you.
Thank you, hon.
Yes, I'm not sure I'm going to answer or say all 17.
Yeah, we're not going to list all of them.
I'll tell you where to find it. So you can find it online at agandarttour.com / Richland, and there's a map and the list of everywhere you can, all the different locations. Interactive map.
It's big fun. You can get a lot of great gifts. If you're thinking about getting some gifts for Christmas, birthdays, the artisans, stock up on some meat, some produce. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Meet the animals. I think the animals are probably everybody's favorite. So, yeah.
Yes, definitely my favorite. But now that you're talking about boiled peanuts, those maybe take the cake.
True.
Yeah, the boiled peanuts are amazing. We've got a secret recipe that Mr. George, who I originally bought the store from, has taught me. So it's so amazing. Yeah, so
that's June 7th through the 8th, and you can find that online at agandarttour.com / Richland, and I'll tell you everything you need to know. I think it's just such a great opportunity to, maybe you're not, into gardening quite yet, but you're interested in the artisan factor of what they have,
and everybody eats. So.
Everybody eats, so I'm sure they have something going on everywhere where you can taste something.
And if you're not in our county, they have them multi-counties. It depends on which week. So it goes from week to week to week. So I'm not sure if we have two going on at the same time. But, so check out the...
And even if you're not interested in the ag or the art, it's still something to do on a Saturday afternoon with your kids.
Bring the kids out. Have fun. Watch the chicken races. That sounds like so much fun.
Make some illegal bets.
Yeah.
No, we cannot condone any illegal bets here at the point. But, we don't bet. Let's set the tone. No betting. No betting.
I bet you won't bet. Nope.
No betting. We'll be back right after this break.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Pakistan and India have hinted at de-escalating their current conflict after firing missiles at each other. Hours earlier, the two have been locked in hostilities after a gun massacre last month that India blames on terrorists crossing in from Kashmir. Pakistan's foreign minister said today that he has conveyed his message to Secretary of State Marco Rubio that they do intend to try and de-escalate the conflict. Both of those countries are nuclear powers. President Trump says not all countries will get as good of a trade deal as the one Britain negotiated with the U.S. this week. He says a lot of it depends on how high their tariffs are and whether they're ready to reach a deal quickly. The Trump administration has fired the Librarian of Congress. Carla Hayden was the first woman and the first African American to serve in the role of Librarian of Congress. The top Democratic lawmakers criticized her firing as politically motivated. This is SRN News.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Everybody, welcome back into The Point. Thank you for listening to us today. We do have a caller on the line.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get to Mr. Brian. Brian, welcome into Grow Your Garden with Sal. We hear you have a question.
Hey, yes, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. It's great to hear from you.
Good. Hey, Sal, This is my first time calling in, so it's good to be here.
Yay!
And I do have a gardening question, and I hope I'm not too far off topic. But
No.
the problem I have a problem with my cucurbits, specifically my squash and my cucumbers. Every year I deal with, I guess this is the white stuff on the leaves. Is that powdery mildew?
Yes.
And I was wondering, what could I do? Because I go in there and I trim all the leaves off that's affected, and I get rid of them. But no matter what I do, it just keeps coming back.
Yes, and it is a big problem, especially on cucumbers, even more on cucumbers than squash. A couple of different things. Make sure you're rotating your crops, so don't ever plant the cucumbers and squash in the same location. Also, if you can not water from above, that will help out a whole lot. But pretty much your cucumbers are going to succumb to that. So making sure as that plant's growing up and it's starting to mature, go ahead and stick 2 more seeds in the ground. But our humidity is what's causing that. We also have a mildew-resistant cucumber called the mini cucumber. It's a mini snacking cucumber. Another thing you can do is go with a couple of hybrid cucumbers, which is not GMO. We also got one called Tasty Green. That's a little bit more mildew-resistant. But are you watering overhead?
I do my best to water underneath because I did hear, like you say, not to touch the plant at the top.
Yes.
So I do that with those, and I do that with my tomatoes, too. I try to water from the bottom. But they still get the powdery mildew-looking stuff.
Another thing you could do is make sure they're separated and got a lot of airflow. So if you can plant, because I always tell people plant 2 cucumbers or 2 squash together, so you can get more flowers on there, more chance of greater pollination. But the next one you plant, make sure it's a good 2 foot away, maybe even 3 foot in your case if you're getting a lot of that. That nice airflow really helps.
All right.
And a succession plant. We already know this is going to happen, so make sure as your stuff is coming up, you're going ahead, got another one in the hole. So.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. That's what I do.
And thank you
so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Great question.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
You as well. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, that's a great question. I think we talk a lot about like the frustrations with gardening, but really it's the beauty of gardening. I mean, because the whole thing is that you try so hard every year, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it works amazing, and
sometimes you learn more from I'd say almost all the time you learn more from your mistakes.
Yes, the hard way.
Yeah, the hard way. I'm stubborn,
Now, what sucks about gardening, I probably shouldn't use that word, but which is kind of upsetting about gardening is that you can't just plant tomatoes all year. A lot of people want they want to be able to eat tomatoes. They want to be able to eat their tomato and mayo sandwiches. You
can if you have a greenhouse and you can keep it hot, but really the flavor's not as good, and the heating is very, very expensive. Because I've got a greenhouse down there, and people are all the time, why don't you just grow your summer crops all winter time? I mean, you're talking about $800 in heating bill. Yeah. It's just not doable. Now, somebody maybe on a smaller frame could do that, but yeah, it's very costly. But having said that, we can grow, more than one. So we can plant now. We can plant in July again. So you've got 2 different times you can plant your summer crops. And then sometimes you can even push it out a little bit farther. And then the winter, a lot of places around the country cannot plant anything in the wintertime, and we can plant a bunch of stuff in the winter. And if we don't have that early frost, we can even keep the tomatoes going sometimes into December.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So we're very fortunate here. But yeah, it's with everything. Everything's always going to be a challenge, but I'm like, I want a challenge too.
Yeah.
But having the good soil, number one thing. Planting the right season and learning how to water, are some of the most important things. If you get that, you're going to grow something. And then jump off from there and just keep learning. Is the best way to do. And another question I've been getting tons and tons this week is people don't want squash plants anymore because they said the blooms are falling off. Excuse excuse me, gotta clear my throat for a second. The blooms are falling off of their squash. That's a pollination problem. If you don't have bees, you're not going to have squash. You're not going to have cucumbers. And it's really showing the unhealthy environment that we are making. When you're out there spraying for all the bugs and killing all the bugs and everything's perfectly manicured and the bees don't have anything to eat, you're killing the dandelions, which they eat. When they come out first, the dandelions are what they're eating because there's nothing else blooming.
Yeah, from what I understand, dandelions are pretty important as far as pollination goes for your other plants.
Very, very important. And if you have to have that manscaped lawn, at least plant some wildflowers somewhere. Dedicate an area for the bees. If you don't have bees, you're not going to have you're just not going to have squash. You're not going to have cucumbers. Also dedicating some little places for like the toads. I absolutely love toads. I want to do like a movie about the secret life of toads because I don't understand how they can get all the way up on the table with our plants. Like, because they don't look, I've never seen one climb. They jump pretty far, but I just don't see how they jump that far. So we need to really do a little secret life of toads. But the toads eat a lot of bad insects, lizards, making a healthy habitat in everybody's backyard somewhere, dedicating that for the bees, for the toads, putting like some broken upside down ceramic pots for the toads to get under, maybe a little water feature. It's just creating that environment, and if we destroy everything, they're going to destroy us. So we really got to step up our game.
Okay, so it's gonna be time for Josh's questions of the week. Are you ready for them? Okay, so I know obviously right now we're planting our tomatoes, our peppers, stuff like that. I want to know, is the winter time good for? And I could be wrong because I really don't remember that far back, but during the winter you want to plant like your leafy stuff, like your lettuces and stuff like that, right?
Yep, collards, cabbage, broccoli, all your brassicas, yes.
So could you still plant those now?
If you plant them now, they are going to seed out, which the brassicas, when the bees start coming out and it gets kind of hot, they want to make some summer lovin', and they put this flower on there. And when they do that, the plant's bitter. Now, we do have some customers coming in there and getting the mustard seeds mixes. Now, they're going to harvest them a little bit smaller. And also, they're going to plant them somewhere where they're not in the full sun during the heat of day, 11:30 to 3. So it is a challenge. It is doable, but it will be a lot more bitter. Your lettuces are going to be bitter. Yeah, so.
Okay. So that brings me to my next question. What can we plant, or when can we plant more of a rooty crop, like a carrot or like a beet? Can we plant those in South Carolina? And when is the best time to do it?
Yeah, so your carrots and radishes do a little better early spring, about March. And then again in the fall, you can prolong that season by putting shade cloth over them. But the carrots will seed out, the radishes will seed out when it gets really hot. So adding that shade cloth, it's just all about the temperature, keeping them nice and cool, keep them, trick them into not making seed heads, because essentially a plant just wants to go to seed and make babies.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to do. And that's why we plant them in the winter here in Columbia. Now, in other places like New York and Michigan, if a lot of people are listening on YouTube also from other areas, they can plant their stuff, March and get the brassicas going. But we can't because our temperatures are just too hot.
Yeah, so that's good stuff. I think, and you may be able to help me with this idea. I think we should have somebody call in once a week. It's similar to the Plant of the Week thing, but we play 20 questions, or we should play Guess the Plant with Sal. So somebody calls in, they're thinking of a plant, and you have 20 questions that you can ask them, yes or no questions, and you have to get it in 20 seconds, or 20 seconds within 20 questions.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It would be like a little game show. Yeah. Can we have some music and everything goes like to the...
We can, but the issue is I would do it. I would think of a plant, but I don't know what a brassica, I don't know, like if she was going to ask a question, I wouldn't know what to say. So we need to have some educated folks on here.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And talking about the heat, our box this month is all about Some Like It Hot, Hot, Hot.
Oh yeah, the subscription boxes.
Yeah, so everything, Megan's been helping me put them together, and Swan also.
They're really cute.
Yeah, it's really cute because a lot of people think it's too hot to grow, when it gets into June and July. But there's some things that like it, like sweet potatoes, okra, moringa, the tree of life, which is really cool. And all that's in the box this month with the directions. We've got a lot of folks coming out. They're going to actually pick up their boxes. But if you're out of town, don't worry. We're shipping your box to you. Yeah, so it's super exciting. And another question I've had several calls because we've shipped moringa seeds all over everywhere. And they're having problems getting them up. And I did a little short that you can go onto our YouTube channel and watch. But we had gotten down to 50 degrees 3 nights in a row. And even though those were in the greenhouse, and I'm not heating the greenhouse right now, like I told you, it costs like an enormous amount of money. I went in there and I'm like, we dug up some of the moringa seeds and they are starting to put on roots. But when you were digging them up and we put our finger, the soil was cold because of those 50-degree nights. So if it's like under 70 degrees at night, those moringa are not going to germinate. They're just not going to germinate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and the moringa is an amazing tree. It's got every nutrition, every vitamin you need. It's got complete amino acids. Very, very healthy, lowers blood pressure. It's just a fantastic tree, and it grows potentially 6 inches every 24 hours. Once it gets hot. So you can literally watch this tree grow.
And you can eat it straight, like off of the growth.
Yeah.
And you can steep it into tea.
You can. And Megan and my nephew just walks around like a goat. And now Megan's doing that too.
Yeah.
Just don't even pick it. Just bite it off the
I did
tree.
that with some grass in his backyard too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, some
I don't think he
lemongrass.
liked it.
Lemongrass
I
is another
like it.
thing that grows in hot weather.
Yeah, so I have a couple. We may have to do another. We may have to think about that 20 questions idea.
Yeah, you come up with it.
So after the break, we're coming up on our last break of the show. It's gone by really fast, but only a couple calls that came through, so you can call in yourself in this last segment, 803-799-8255. That's a Groucho's Deli phone line. I love Groucho's. Groucho's is amazing.
Groucho's is awesome. You won't be grouchy if you go to Groucho's.
That's Sal's tagline. I don't claim that as a Groucho's tagline, but she says it, so that's right. But I have a couple questions about something called a hydroponic. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
I have this question about that. About a hydroponic vertical planter in our next segment. So stick around for that. We'll come right back in just a couple minutes right here on The Point. Greg Garden with Sal. I'll be right back.
Thank y'all.
Are you getting baby chicks this season? Then listen up. There's a common problem called pasty butt. It happens when waste sticks to their bottom and blocks things up. It might seem small, but if left untreated, it can be deadly. That's why we created Pasty Butt Chick Solution, a South Carolina certified supplement with probiotics added to their feed to help keep your chicks healthy and growing strong. Just sprinkle 1 tablespoon per 6 chicks once a day. Order online at pastybuttchick.com or stop by 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia.
Tradition and quality. That's what you get with H&J Cattle Company, where local third-generation farmers ensure you receive the finest beef in South Carolina. Our registered Hereford and Wagyu cattle are raised with sustainable practices without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. Taste the difference with the highest quality beef guaranteed. Order now at HandJCattle.com or on Instagram and Facebook at H&J Cattle. Again, HandJCattle.com, where ethics meets quality.
When it needs to come down, call the pros who get it done right. From porches to pools, houses to sidewalks. If you want it gone, it's gone. Fast, professional, committed to top quality service. We handle residential, commercial, even emergency jobs. Demolition Services LLC, locally owned and ready to work. Call 803-553-8453 and let's clear the way today.
Hi, I'm Dondi Mercer-Plank. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting, let me introduce you to Grow Your Garden with Sal, your go-to spot for everything you need this season. As a South Carolina certified farm, they offer locally grown vegetable seedlings, plants, and seeds to help your garden thrive. And don't worry if you don't have a green thumb, Sal and her team will teach you how to grow with confidence. Shop online at growyourgardenwithsal.com or stop by 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia.
For over 17 years, the Original Landscape Supply in Chapin has provided gardeners with top-quality organic soil, mulch, and sand. Whether you're planting flowers, vegetables, or shrubs, we have what you need to grow strong, beautiful plants. Visit theoriginallandscapesupply.com to give your garden the best.
You know, a weird thing, our last segment always seems to be our best segment, which is a good thing, but it's kind of frustrating because we could spread it out through the entire show, but we get all of our calls, all of the good stuff is always in the last segment. But that's a good thing. So we're glad you're joining us on...
Everybody's got to get their coffee.
Yeah, everybody's got to get their coffee, wake up. I feel like everybody joins the show when they wake up, but they don't participate until about the second half of the show.
They got to get their voice ready.
Yeah, I sing in the halls before the show starts at the station. So anyways,
Really?
no, I don't.
We got to show up early for that.
Yeah, I want to see.
When I get here, la dee dee da 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 da. No. But yeah, so we're here. Grow Your Garden with Sal. I'm Josh. That's Sal. I'm pointing. We're on YouTube and Facebook as well at Grow Your Garden with Sal. But I'm Josh. Sal. That's Sal, the best gardener I know, and then Megan. The best Megan I know. I don't know any other Megans, so that's the only. That's the only Megan I know.
And the best producer.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And so we're moving along. Last segment here on the point, or last segment here on the Grow Your Garden with Sal. Next segment or next show after this is Right on SC with Casey Waitner and Rex Hurst. All right, so what was I going to say? Oh, we have a call in from one of the best demolition companies in the world. I will say that because I've seen some of their work. They do a good job. So from a cracked up pool that they took out for just going to a straight backyard. It's beautiful. They do a great job. Mr. Darnell from Demolition Services. Is it Demolition Services Inc.? I always forget the last part of it.
It's LLC.
Demolition Services LLC. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Josh, Sal, and Megan. Haven't met you before, but hello. I'm Darnell with Demolition Services, and we focus on demolition of structures, pools, houses, mobile homes, commercial projects. We do land clearing and tree work, but those are the core. We do a lot of other stuff, but those are the core aspects of what we do.
Very good. Well, we're glad to have you on the point. We're glad to have you as a sponsor on our show. We really appreciate the support. And if you want to check them out, what's your website and how can they get in contact with you to start the process of working with you?
Typically, folks just call in. You can do a Google search and take a look at my webpage. The web address is demolitionservicesllc.net. And when folks call in, we just ask them a few pertinent questions about what the scope of their projects are. And based on those answers, we set up a site visit and time, and I'll come out and take a look at things, and then we go through a few particulars and get them on the schedule and go to work.
Very nice.
And these people actually show up, because I have so many people come into my store and they're like, I hired this company and I've been waiting 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. They showed up one day, didn't come back. One thing about Darnell is they get it done. I mean, you don't have to worry about waiting around for a year for it to get to happen, because he's got a plan, coming in there, getting it done, just amazing. And that's really important. Whether you're selling a house, whether you just bought a house and you're trying to get the landscaping done, adding on to the house and need some areas cleared, Need to get rid of that old pool. Need an area cleared for a new pool.
Ooh.
Yes, very good stuff. Well, Darnell, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything? Do you guys have any? Are you guys staying busy? Or you guys have any specials going on? Is there anything that you'd like to get out there right now?
We're always stay busy year round, and typically don't run any specials because my prices are always transparent, and
great.
Of course. Thank you. So anytime someone calls, I always put my best foot forward, set up the best plan, and anytime throughout the process, if I figure out a way to save customers money, I always pass on that savings. Even after I've been paid, I often do refunds for if I don't spend all of their money. Sometimes you just don't know because of the weather, things like that. But that's on the frugal side. Sometimes things cost a little bit more, but because of my transparency, folks generally don't have any issues paying a little bit more when it costs a little bit more. So I pretty much stay in contact with folks and articulate what's going on and why, and that's how we do things.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for calling in. Maybe you can call in next week or the week after.
Sure, I really did enjoy the show today, and looking forward to the next one.
Well, thank you so much. Another thing, I will say is that the people that you hear advertise here on The Point and advertise with Sal and with our show specifically is they're all vetted. We don't just take random people's money, which obviously we want. It helps out the show, but we vet them.
We stand behind these people. We've used them. So if you want to come a sponsor, call us up. Let us know. We'll come out, talk to you, and
we'd love
see
to
if
hear
it's
your
a
story.
fit.
Yeah,
if it's not a fit, we'll let you know. But yeah,
absolutely. All right, so we have another caller. I did not get a chance to ask their name. I don't know who it is, so we're just gonna go straight to you. There's one caller, so this is you. Caller, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Who is this?
This is Lagodia.
Hey, Lagodia.
Hey, we're so glad to have you on.
Yeah, so I know it's the last few minutes, but I have so many questions. I've been promising to call in. So.
Well, let's get your most important question done first. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this season, I'm really concentrating on getting some companion planting going on. So I don't have any flowers yet in there. So really, I want flowers and herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, in one bed, I have tomatoes, some eggplant, cucumber, because I do raised beds mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have, is it too late to actually plant my seeds in there? So I just have seedlings. I came out there, I bought a whole lot of plants.
You did. You bought a bunch.
I came out there.
No, and it's not. It's not too late. It's not too late to plant your seedlings.
No, I mean the flowers. The
flowers. No, actually, right now is the best time. The wildflower mix we got, I tell people plant, after May, because like I said, the temperatures didn't damage anything last week, but it got down to 50, so that's gonna put a hurting on stuff. We just now got the soil temperatures warm enough for your hot weather stuff.
Okay. So you have the flower seeds?
Yeah, so we have wildflower seeds that'll bring in the bees. We also have we got some nasturtiums that's coming up soon, and they're supposed to help with the squash bugs and the squash vine borers. And we actually had a question from Jose saying the squash bugs ate every cucumber plant I've ever grown, and that's supposed to really help. It kind of distracts and it puts different hormones into the air where it confuses the bugs is what it does. And then also basil is good. Basil doesn't like a whole lot of water, so a lot of your herbs don't like a whole lot of water. So keep that in mind if you're putting it next to a tomato plant that needs a lot. And then you've got basil that's going to get mildew separate them a little bit.
Okay. Well, couldn't I just set a pot with the basil in it in the
Yes, good idea.
Okay.
You could totally do that. And putting that multi-level stuff would be fantastic. Give little places for toads to hide, too, and do the work for you in the garden.
The toads, you said?
Toads.
Yeah.
Frogs. And tree frogs, you know.
I always have frogs in my flower bed.
Don't you love them? They're so cute.
They are.
Yeah. Okay, so when do you plan on getting
nasturtiums? I know, I can barely pronounce it either. Megan, when did we plant those? We planted them last week?
I think.
Yeah, so we need to check. It's a little bit slower growing plant, but I'll definitely put an email once they come out. Teresa, who's got the garden beds that she rents out in Blythewood, she told me about planting those. It's also an edible flower. Planting those in order to keep the squash bugs back. She said it works like amazingly, so I'm excited to try it.
I am too. I did some research on them, and I do have some seeds. I know they're edible, and they have these little I don't know, they're kind of peas or something, and they said they're like, you can do them like capers. Like every part of the plant is edible.
Yep, every part's edible. It's kind of got a peppery type taste to it. So it's amazing. Add some color to your garden or to your plate and your garden, because I love the orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors, and that orange just is beautiful in the garden.
Can you make tea out of it?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure. I don't see why not.
Well, we're coming up in the last 30 seconds of the show. We did not get to what we wanted to, not even barely our plant of the week. So I want you and just tell me a short bit. What is our plant of the week, Sal? And tell me about it. And we literally have 10 seconds.
Yeah. Thank you, Lagodia. So the plant of the week is okra, because it's hot weather, and it's now to get your okra in. It also grows really quick, and it can help shade out some of your plants that need it during the summertime. So, yeah.
Great stuff. GrowYourGardenWithSal.com, the Growing Your Tomato class today.
Yes.
113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia. That's GrowYourGardenWithSal.com. We'll see you next week.
Come see us.